Okay, so we were done with the introduction of the holozoic nutrition, which was the new chapter. So let's talk about that. What are the steps of the nutrition that we take, or you can say that the steps of the digestion? The steps of digestion, the step of taking nutrition. So starting from the first step, that is the ingestion. So first of all, we take the food, or you can say that we intake the food from our mouth, or you can say that we intake the food or nutrition from our mouth, or you can say the which is our oral cavity, which is mouth. So we intake the foods from the mouth. So this steps there are 5 steps of the digestion, and these 5 steps occurs in the higher living organisms like animals and human beings, you can say that. So this is the first step that happens in the higher living organisms. So first step is the ingestion. Ingestion means to intake the food from the mouth is called the ingestion. So the next second topic is the digestion, or you can say the second step of this digestion is the digestion. So it is the process, basically it is the process that is mechanical as well as chemical. Okay, so the what does digestion means? Digestion means that the complex substance that we intake from our mouth should be converted into the simplest one, or you can say that the breakdown should be occurs to the food. So that process is called the digestion. So digestion can be mechanical and well as the chemical process. So what is chemical and what is mechanical? Mechanical is the process which, like, we intake the food and we chew the food, we chewing the food from our mouth, or you can say that from the teeth. So that is the mechanical process. If you're talking about the chemicals, the chemical means the breaking down of food with the enzymes. Like in our saliva there is an enzyme amylase that break down the food into the to complex substance into the simplest one. So there's an enzyme which is amylase. To and enzyme means to enzyme are the that type of the, you can say, the catalyst that speed up the reaction in actually. So the enzyme or these mechanical and chemical process are done for the digestion of the food. So yeah, so the digestion of food occurs, and the food can go into the stomach, and there is also a chemical process, means there is pepsin, HCl, they secrete the juices to break the food. So the food will be like coming to the small intestine through the stomach. So small intestine, the digestion complete, like the complex substance is usually broken down into the monosaccharide, you can say that simplest form, so that can be easily absorbed. Of course we cannot take the I am done with that yeah, in on that video, the introduction video, I taught you guys that there is a we cannot absorb, or you can say that our body cannot digest the molecule, which are large amount of molecules. It should be converted into the micromolecules, or you can say that simplest one molecules to digest, or you can say that to absorb. So this was the second process. Now let's move towards the absorption. So I told you that small intestine, that digestion uh, somehow that completes. Now the large intestine, here the absorption occurs, that the breakdown occurs, means the macromolecules are converted into the micromolecules. Now the absorption occurs to intake the energy of the food, like there will be like the third step is the absorption. So the absorption means that the simple molecule, or so you can say that diffusible molecule that can be diffusible easily, diffusible molecules, they will be absorbed into the blood, into the blood. They can easily, now the small molecules, or you can say that micromolecules, can easily cross the membrane of the cell, because they are like macro. If they are macro, they cannot you can say that they cannot cross the cell membrane, because they are macromolecules. And now the molecules are micro, because they are like digestion occur, they are converted into the micromolecules. So they will be absorbed into the blood and diffuse, and they will be diffusing into the blood, and they will be providing the energy to the body parts. So blood will be working as a transport of the body. Blood will be working as a transport of the body. So the digested molecule will be go into the blood, and they will be like absorption occur, and they will be providing us a energy. Like you can say that the glucose, and there are many like proteins, you can say the lipids, the protein note, glucose, amino acid, fatty acid, glycerol, many others. So they will be taking the absorption, and they will be absorbed into our body. The next step is that into that micromolecule, there will be some like the, you can say that undigested particles, they cannot be absorbed, they cannot be digested. So like there are some particles like fibers, you can say, you can take the roughage as, so they will be moving to the you can say that they will be moving to the rectum, or you can say the egestion occurs into the fifth step. So we'll be talking them into the fifth step. So the fourth step is that assimilation. Okay, so what is assimilation? So through the process of the absorption, the soluble molecules of the food are now you can say that absorbed by the digestive membrane, such as intestinal lining. So the utilizing of the absorption of the food, so that's called assimilation. Assimilation means that the diffusible, or you can say the micromolecule, the diffusible particle will be used. Here the absorption occurred, now here the how particle will be used. So that occurs in the assimilation. For example, there is a amino acid. Okay, so they will be making the proteins in our body. Okay, so the protein will be again made by the ribosome. So like glucose will be further break down, and the ATP, which is the currency of the energy, so the energy will be providing to our body. So assimilation means the absorption occur, now the assimilation means the micromolecules will be used to get the energy. So that's called the assimilation. You can take the example of the, here you can take the example of the fats. Okay, you can take the example of, you can say that the glucose, you can say, yeah, you can take glucose here, and many other examples that will be providing us energy when our body needs. So they will be providing us the energy. So now the fifth step is the ingestion. This is the last step. What does ingestion means? Ingestion is the opposite of the egestion. Egestion was to you can say that ingestion was to intake the food, or you can say that to intake the food. So egestion, this is egestion. Okay, so egestion means to you can say the undigested particle will be excrete out from our body. The undigested particle will be excrete out, or you can say that they will be like digested out from our body. They'll be excreted out from our body, from the anus, you can say that. So the, you can say, undigested particles are roughage fibers. There are many particles that are not useful for our body, so they will be excreted out from our body. So that process is called the digestion. So digestion is the, you can say that, hydrolytic chemical process that the insoluble particles, or you can indiffusible particles, will be moving out from the, excrete out from the body. So that is called the digestion. So digestion, you can understand that what is digestion, that they are not the removal of the undigested particles from the cell, from the body, that are not useful for our body. So they will be excreted out from the process of the digestion. So digestion is done. So these were the 5 steps of the, you can say that, the digestion. Okay, so here you can I explain you whole this one. I haven't write it, but I explained these all process. So these were the 5 steps of the digestion.